Hi, everybody. Today is December 7th. Like last week, this week is really just going to be lab time. I don't really have any, new material to share or new labs. You guys are just finishing up labs. So if you have any previous labs that were due, please get those in as soon as possible. Um, I will be, you guys have this make a responsive web page lab that is due tonight by midnight. So please make sure to do that if you've not completed that. This lab is a good practice of writing a web page and making it responsive, which will bring you into the final project. Speaking of the final project, your final project, you guys should be getting very close to working on it. Today is the 7th, and it's due in about a week and a half. Okay. Wednesday will be lab time, and then we don't actually meet next week because it's finals week. So I won't be releasing another module on Monday, but we will meet on the 16th where you guys will present your final project. Um, going over the assignment, at this point, you guys should hopefully be aware of the assignment. You guys are creating a responsive website. You're creating a web page for fictitious business and then applying all the concepts that we've talked about throughout the semester, which includes writing HTML, writing CSS to stylize and structure the page, using concepts or techniques to create responsiveness for the project. So, requirements of this project, it should be a sophisticated project or web design. So, that means having something with multiple columns and rows and things like that that you're trying to manipulate and work with. Your code itself should be proper HTML, CSS syntax. At this point, you guys should be aware of what that is and how to write that. Your web page should be functional, meaning all images should load correctly. If you have any hyperlinks, those should load correctly. This also includes having your breakpoints working correctly. Your website, your web page should be responsive. Responsive in this case means it should adjust itself depending on the size of the browser. That includes responsive type, media queries, responsive images, things like that. You guys are using the following breakpoints, which are a smartphone from 1 pixel to 480 pixels, tablet, which we're defining in this particular case as 481 to 955, and then desktop, which we're counting as anything above 955. You guys are going to upload your project like you did with the last few projects to your server, which is the um, your Infinity free, or if you want to use GitHub, that's perfectly fine too. All right, so for submissions, actually, let me just show you a couple quick examples, just so you guys, hopefully you guys have already looked through this, but it's like, here's some examples from the last time I taught the course, where it's like, here's this web page. I'm just going to use the built-in Chrome aspect here. So it's like, you can see here how I have multiple columns and see how these images are responsive. Look how cool that is. And then we bring it in. Oh, look, boom, 3 columns. This would be like maybe like like a tablet size kind of situation. And then I bring in even more. And then this goes down. Look how pretty that looks. Now it's a single column. Okay. So hopefully this is giving you kind of an idea of what I'm looking for. So it's a combination of strong, graphic design, responsiveness, that sort of thing. So, you know, here I have this web page. It's got multiple columns, looking great. The images are responsive. You can see that this is probably using Flexbox or grids where it's like the columns are kind of readjusting themselves. And then it breaks into two columns. And then this becomes one column. And then I break this, and then boom, that becomes one column. This becomes a sticky element that always stays at the top of the page. All right, so you guys have already done these milestones. This is coming up in a week. What you guys should be doing. So I mentioned, you're going to have a root folder that stores all of your files. This includes the HTML, CSS files, images, audio, video that might be necessary for the project. Um, you're going to upload the project to your server, like, your Infinity Free or something like that. And then once you get the URL, please put it inside of like a text document, like a TextEdit or Microsoft Word, save it, and then put that file into your root folder. Okay. And then I also want you to make a multi-page PDF that's kind of a presentation involving all of your pre-production material, okay, and a cover. So so at this point, you guys should have your pre-production material, which is like your wireframes and your style tile, like this. So here's this particular student's, you know, wireframes and then style tile. And then this is their particular mock-up. And we're going to try to combine this to be a multi-page PDF. This is great for presentations that you might give to like your boss or a stakeholder or something along those lines. Um, if you know how to use software like Adobe InDesign, you could do that. If you don't know how to do that, we're just going to use a piece of software called combinepdf.com. You can go to combinepdf.com and I'm going to I'm going to click where it says combine PDF, and then you can actually upload files. So you can upload PDF files or images or anything of that sort. So I'm going to come in here and just grab all of these files as such. All right. And actually, you can reorder these. It goes it goes left to right. And I actually want it to be desktop, followed by tablet, followed by mobile, followed by style tile by mockup. But you can actually move things around. So in case I, for some reason, wanted the mockup to come first. So you can use all these together and then hit where it says combine. I think you can combine up to 10 megabytes, or sorry, 10 files, which is more than enough for what you need for this. And you can see it made a multi-page PDF. Look at that. Okay. All right. So you guys are going to make a multi-page kind of presentation that has like a cover photo, your your wireframes, your style tile, your mock-up, and then a link that goes to the final website. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense for what I'm looking for. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at davidhurwich@sfsu.edu. Okay.